I knew already Julien also when I didn't work with him from a long time because we met a lot of times in Kenya. So I had an idea about not his training officially, but what he really did. That sometimes was a little bit different from the programs of Mark. No, was different, almost adding something. He liked really running, and sometime I remember that in Iten there was yet the track. Now there is no more. And he finished also some tough session with very fast sprint, no, 200 meters with the other, enjoying like children, no, to have this type of approach, no. So I like it very much that he practically enjoyed running, because this is something that, especially for European, not always there is something like this. But at the same time, I understood that there was some risk sometime, no, at the beginning. When I started with him, because Mark asked me, no, was end of September or beginning of 2020. And I didn't go to Kenya, practically because of COVID and also some personal problem that I had. And he came from a summer, very bad summer, the summer of 2020. And it was strange because in January he was able to beat the European record of 10 kilometers. So something happened after. And when I started to work with him, I didn't know exactly what happened, because it was not something to discuss by phone or something like this. The strange thing was that I told him that we needed to start to rebuild the aerobic level, because the session, the track, not the session, but the track season was very bad, running very slow. And what he told me that he did a fatigue under the aerobic point of view. No? So we started to rebuild this one, and it was not bad, because the first competition with me was immediately 59-55 in a half marathon. That was not so bad, no? And after this, everything went very well till February. In February, he had a big sprain, and he told me that there was something not so important, and after 3 or 4 days, he started running again. And I didn't see him, of course. I had only his feedback from the type of training that he did, and in the short distance, repetition, like for example, test on 400 meters or something like this, was not far from the best shape. But at the same time, was not able to run a tempo of 10 kilometers under 31 minutes. So it was very strange, the situation for him. When he came Europe and Italy in Sestriere, was 2 weeks only before Lucerne. And I saw him running well in something short, didn't do anything really good in something long, but anyway we used the only intervals in that period, together with the two Kenyans athletes with him, Boniface Kibiwott and Matthew Kibaros. And I saw him running in strange way, technically, no? A little bit rolling a little bit too much. According to my eye, the length of the strides were not the same, so there was something strange, practically, no? And when we went to Lucerne for 5,000 meters, he asked me, "What do you think that I can do?" And my answer was, "But looking what you did in training, in test of 400 meters, I think that you can run not your personal best, but between 13:20 and 13:25. And this was the idea before the race. But after the first kilometers in 2:38, the second became 2:44, and after was practically no more able running. Started to run 69 per lap. No, also 70 one time. It was really strange. And after 2.5 kilometers, he told to Boniface that could go. Boniface overtook everybody, arriving number 3, 13:06. But he ran 13:50, I think 57 or something like this. No? And at the end, the feeling was the calves, both of them, completely tight. There was no more, and also pain in all the legs. And there was only one month before Olympic. My idea was that, honestly, we never could be competitive for Olympic. But Olympic are Olympics, so it was for him a stimulus to go in any case. But I knew that could not run better than 28:30. After this, he ran 28:50 something. After this, we had during the night, I was in Sapporo, a talk, and after a lot of message, where I explained that he could not continue in this way, because it was not the problem to run slow, but to run in this bad way. So when you don't have the efficiency of the body, you can't run fast. So the first step was to understand the problem. And so I stopped him. I told him to go at home in Switzerland for investigation, no something. And after 15 days, he sent me the picture of a big inflammation that he had in the rear part of the knee. It was not possible running with this. So we planned to stop again, to go to Wolfgang Müller in Munich, to be treated for this. And the first goal was not the training, was to recover the full efficiency. This was practically a goal that he, in my opinion, achieved for the beginning of October, when we can start again training with a good balance. I went to Geneva for Escalade. Of course, he was not in shape because of the lack of training, but running in good way. So from there, we started again, practically, with the idea to prepare marathon for the first time. And he had 2 steps in the middle. One step was a 10K in 28:14, no, already a little bit faster than Escalade. The second step was a half marathon in 60:28, where the first step, the first 10 were under 28:14. So practically every month he was able to double his specific endurance, no, at the same type of speed. Now it's not double because he's 2:01. No, of course, no, there is something. But especially in the last month, I saw really a good improvement, not so much in the speed, in the general speed, but in the mentality. So he was able to be more aggressive, to control this aggressiveness, because he is normally, he likes to be in front of the group, he likes to run fast every time. Instead, for marathon, you needed to learn the patience, no? And you needed to learn the relaxation. And under this point of view, he was able to improve very much at the end. So, for example, the last training that he had on track was very, very relaxed, very easy. And the impression that he gave me was that at marathon pace, he was able now to use less energy than maybe 2 months before, something like this. So honestly, I'm curious to see what he can do. Personally, if in the first marathon he can finish around 2:08, I am already happy. Because I know that if this happens, at the end of the season he can run 2 minutes faster. But the marathon is something that you need to know a little bit. You need to learn a marathon. For giving an example, the first marathon of Garib finished with a 5th position in 2:09 in Rotterdam, and the same year, some months later, he dominated completely World Championship in 2003, giving maybe 2 minutes to the second. So, because he knew. And finishing the first marathon, he told me, is this the problem of marathon? After 3 days, I can run again. this is a good way to finish the first marathon. You need to finish with positive ideas. Is the reason because tomorrow I don't want something too fast from the beginning. I think that the first half, the optimal thing can be about 3:01 for the first half. Something a little bit better than 64, but not too much.
That's 63.
Yes, 63:40, no 63. 63:40, 64, something like this. With the idea to try a negative split, also if we know that Paris is a little bit faster in the first part, no, because it's going down a little bit in the second, but not too much. But mentally it's very much important to arrive in about 30 kilometers having yet the energy, mental and physical energy for trying to improve a little bit, to increase a little bit the pace. No. So for me, 2:08 is a good situation. I think that in his mind, his expectation is a little bit higher. No, but I understand because emotionally, when an athlete speaks about himself, his hopes normally are more than. I prefer to be a little bit more conservative. No, the athlete is a little bit more aggressive under this point of view. No, but I think that this is a really a goal that can achieve. No, the weather become a little bit better. I don't know because I see a flag moving a little bit. We need to see tomorrow the wind. That is the most important thing. He has a group around that if they don't do mistake, this is the pace. And so the first marathon has a good level of organization around him, but in any case presents something that is the first time that he can face. No, this is the situation. So I am also curious to see. No, he can become a good marathon runner, sure. Like for all the athletes that I had in my life, Kenyan or no Kenyans, you started to know marathon after 4 or 5 marathons. Stefano Baldini became Olympic champion after 23 marathons, for example. No, okay, it's not normal, but something happened like this. And for giving an example, in 1996, he won World Half Marathon Championships. After winning World Half Marathon Championships, his coach, Luciano Gigliotti, prepared, working with me like head coach of Italy, preparing only New York, only more New York. In New York, he was at the maximum shape of his life, coming from world title, and after 27 kilometers dropped out. Because some problem different from the past for full marathon. So he started again in winter to prepare everything, and next year in the first really marathon, almost won London, no, with 2:07:57, because I started to use the mistake of the first under the mental point of view. No? So depends. We need to see what happened, and after looking what happened, we can decide which type is the next step. No, in training and in competition, for choosing also what he can do in the next part of the season, because depends very much from what happened tomorrow. I tell you, yes, I tell you, for me, a final time about 2:08 for me is really positive already.
But then he won't be happy if he goes through the line in 2:08.
Of course, want no. Also because there is a challenge between in 1 week time between him and Tadesse, because Tadesse Abram, they laugh together, no. And Tadesse told him, hey, you need to run faster. If you want the Swiss record, you need to beat immediately Sunday, because next week you run faster. So we got to see what happened with Tadesse also.